Hello and welcome to another episode of Two Guys and a Chainsaw. I'm Todd.
And I'm Craig.
Happy New Year, Craig.
Happy New Year. Yeah, it's been a year.
It has been a year.
2025 was a year for sure.
We've had a number of these in the last 10 years or so.
Yep,
It's been...
and we've got at least 3 more.
Oh my God.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's. I mean, New Year.
Yeah.
We just finished chatting amongst ourselves about how nice Christmas was for us this year and getting together with family and things like that. As we normally do, we got to try to get a New Year's themed horror movie in. And those are hard to come by. So I got super excited when I saw something come through one of my feeds. I don't know about this cool great New Year's movie that just was released on Screambox as an exclusive, and you got to check it out. A refreshing throwback to slashers from the 90s, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, Craig, let's do this. And so he graciously got a free trial to Screambox, which we'll see how that is. I don't know if it's going to be as fun as Shudder is. Maybe you can check that out for a while and see if you like it. That could just be another thing that you add on to your already growing pile of streaming services that you subscribe to every month.
No, I checked it out already. I don't want to trash anything or anybody. It's a Bloody Disgusting's streaming service, and the comparison between it and Shudder is more mainstream stuff, and they have a much larger collection, and Shudder produces a lot of originals. Screambox produces some originals also, but they're more low budget and indie, and that's what you're going to find on their streaming service too. Their selections are relatively limited, at least based on the 5 minutes that I spent perusing it.
Okay.
And in that 5 minutes, when I went through all of their different categories, and they don't just have horror, they also have action and thriller, or at least that's how they categorize them for me.
Wow.
There was next to nothing that was familiar to me. So it's not going to be worth, I think it's $5.99 or $6.99 if you just go there and subscribe. If you add it on like through Amazon, which is what I did, if you add it on through any other streaming service, it's only $4.99 a month, which is only $60 a year. So it's not like you're wasting a ton of money. But I didn't see anything that made me think, I need this for the whole year. I think we'll watch this. I'll probably cancel it before my free trial runs out. And then if something comes up that we want to watch that's streaming there, I'll subscribe for a month, and that's fine. I'm glad it's there. I'm glad it's there for people who are... And it has a lot more foreign films also. So if you're a fan of foreign films, it might be worth it to you. I don't think it's worth a monthly subscription to me, but I'm glad it's there.
Well, it's nice to see that indie horror's got a home somewhere, because there's a lot of that produced. And this is something that we don't dive into too much. Most of the indie horror that we do tends to be stuff that's, stood this test of time.
Right.
Older movies that have since gotten a cult following or something like that. And I think I'm a little biased towards that. This is why I like to do older movies, and I shy away from newer movies. I know we're almost the complete opposite on this. There's overlap, but I think throughout the years, it's tended to kind of suss out that you like to do the newer movies, or at least watch them.
Yeah.
I prefer to just go back and find every old unsung classic that I could possibly find and do it. And the reason I do that is because I don't like to waste my time. And I kind of like other people to gatekeep for me in a way that I'm reluctant to admit, but it's true. Kind of like with books, I kind of want people to have already established over the years, this is something worth watching. And so then I'm going to sit down and watch it. When you turn on a new thing, you're not sure, and it can be fun and exciting, but it can also be a waste of my 90 minutes,
I understand that, and I do know that you and I are very different, and that you keep yourself very busy. I don't enjoy that busy time as much as you do. Like, I enjoy quiet time. I enjoy just sitting with my dog and whatever. I don't want to delve into it. What I was getting into was that I feel like you probably are far more productive than I am, and
oh God,
your life illustrates that. But I also feel like you miss out on things.
Yeah, that's probably true. It's definitely true.
Well, and probably not anything that's sincerely consequential, but the last time that we talked, I was blown away by the fact that you hadn't seen Almost Famous. Like that's
That's true.
and I imagine you still haven't seen it, and I'm gonna keep talking about it until you watch it. And when you watch it, you're gonna text me and be like, I can't believe I haven't seen that yet. I don't know which is better. You are very productive, you are very successful, you pop up on my ads all the time, so like you are out there like all over the world. I'm just a small town guy who likes being at home, so it's a very different perspective and approach, but I'm glad that I can be here for you in general to every once in a while tell you you need to watch Almost Famous or other things.
Almost Famous, that obscure indie film that
that obscure indie film. But I know you're talking about missing. Like I don't see this type of stuff.
Right. No, you're right.
As often.
I miss that on everything. And by the way, what we're
mainstream stuff.
I do, and I'm very picky about what I'm going to watch in the theater too nowadays because that takes even more time and more money. So I don't even see newer films unless they're big, like I can justify seeing them on the big screen.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, the movie that we're talking about is 2025's New Year's Eve. Man, I remember, was it last year or maybe 2 years ago around this time of year, I was really entranced by clever titles. And I thought, man, why has nobody else done a title like this? Last time was It's a Wonderful Knife. You remember that? Oh, on title alone, I had so much hope for that movie. I thought anybody clever enough to come up with It's a Wonderful Knife for the first time and have one or two famous stars in it. Like, this could be something that we're going to really enjoy. And, we kind of enjoyed it, but we didn't really like it all that much.
Yeah.
We're a bit disappointed. So this movie, New Year's Eve, stars among nobody else, Felissa Rose.
Yeah.
From the Sleepaway Camp series. And she does quite a bit of horror. And I thought, okay, Felissa Rose is in it. So it's not like me running around shooting something with my camcorder. Got the clever title, New Year's Eve, and then there are all these people online talking about it, and it's fresh and new, and, it came out, I think, on December 16th. So you were like, yeah, let's do it. We got the Screenbox subscription. We went through the effort. I sat down last night with my dad and my nephew, and we all watched it together because we wanted to watch something, and they didn't mind it. My dad doesn't like horror movies.
Yeah.
At the end of all this, he goes like, this is why I don't like horror movies. It's just a bunch of people getting killed, So, he didn't love it either, but we enjoyed sitting down and razzing on it and plowing through it, which is ultimately how I felt about the viewing experience, plowing through it.
Yeah, I would say that this is not a movie that you want to sit down with somebody who doesn't really like horror movies anyway. Like, if you're going to sit down with somebody who doesn't really like horror movies anyway, sit down with them with something that's smart or funny. And not to say that this movie isn't funny, but I wouldn't say that it's smart. but you and I talked about Train to Busan with your dad, and he's not a horror fan, but he loved that movie because it dealt with, humanity, and there was something below the surface that was going on that he could appreciate.
Yeah.
How old is your nephew?
My nephew is he is 15. Yeah, I have two.
Okay, what did he think?
He was just like, no, he didn't really like it.
That's kind of how 15-year-olds feel about everything.
That's true. I mean, I don't know what his expectations are either. We were just happy to sit down and watch a movie. I warned them ahead of time. I said, look, this could just be kind of silly.
It's going to be dumb.
Yeah, it's going to be dumb, so don't have high hopes. So it's not like he came in here thinking it was going to be the best thing in the world. He had a good spirit about it. We watched it. We finished it. We said goodnight to each other. And I was like, oh, I got to wake up in like 6 hours and talk about it. So I hope I can have some things to talk about, because this is another one of those situations where I was like, oh, we always say, how much can we really say about this movie? Are we even going to fill an hour? And I am wondering how that's going to work. But we're already 10 minutes in, so that's a good sign.
Okay.
We haven't talked about the movie yet.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, I feel like it's an interesting throwback to 90s slashers. It's very gory. I couldn't even begin to estimate the kill count because it is a lot.
Yeah.
There are a lot of kills in here.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because the whole opening is nothing but just one kill scene after another of just random people setting up
Random stuff. Right. It opens up West Virginia, we see on the screen. A guy is killed by some shears, like garden shears, through the eyes.
mouth.
The killer is a guy he's like in a black coat and he's dressed as like a plague doctor,
Yeah.
basically, with that long bird mask, and there are like red lights around his eyes.
Yeah. It's an interesting look. I mean, I think they were definitely going for something that could maybe be iconic someday, right? It just very different from
I thought it was a great look.
Yeah.
And then there's a bazillion other kills. Like another guy gets killed by 2 frying pans on either side of his head. And then this killer rips a guy's eyes out and slits his throat. And he rips a guy's face off and he rips a guy's throat out. And through all of this, we're hearing news reports about how they're labeling this guy the doctor because of the precision. I don't know how ripping a guy's eyeballs out with your hands is precision, but whatever, he's called the doctor. And so we get all this.
At this point, my dad turns to me and says, how do they know what he looks like? The police have these like very detailed sketches of what this guy looks like, but all we've seen in these kill scenes is him approaching people out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the day, really.
Oh,
like
yeah.
in their home.
In a park.
Yeah, on the deck behind their house, and he's doing his thing, but we can't see that anybody's seen who it was. This guy is your typical killer. He could just pop in and out supernaturally at a moment's notice, and he does his thing and he leaves.
And they're like, where will he strike next? And then on the screen, Kentucky. And we shoot to this office where we meet our main folks. And I don't really know who any of these people are. Leslie is the main girl, the final girl, I guess. Brian is this schleppy guy who looks like me, I guess. Like, he's just like a schleppy guy. And Moses, who's like this bleach blonde douche kind of guy, and they work in a very generic office.
Yeah.
And they make jokes about how generic it is. Now, it reminded me so much of 90s things, but I couldn't tell if they were trying to emulate it or spoof it.
Right.
The thing that bothered me the most is that this is a dialogue-heavy movie.
Yeah.
Like, it relies on the dialogue. And the dialogue is so tongue-in-cheek and self-aware. What I eventually wrote down is, all of this dialogue feels written.
Yeah.
Nobody would ever actually say these things.
Yeah.
On paper, it's funny, but it doesn't make... Like, when the actors actually say it, it's ridiculous. And I eventually just started just typing out quotes because they were so dumb. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
I guess we should set it up. But the dialogue is so written. When you said it was like the 90s, yes, it reminded me of the 90s. It reminded me of, like, Dawson's Creek. Like, no 15-year-olds ever talked like that.
Right.
And there's a lot of really quippy dialogue. And some of it's funny. I laughed out loud sometimes. But it's so quippy, nobody would ever say that. It is so written. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I felt the same way. So at first you feel like you're watching a comedy that's not very well done. And like you said, I don't know. I think if I read this script, I would be like, oh, this is amusing. But one of the things that really struck out to me from the very beginning was how ordinary all of these people looked. And that's fine. But it signals this is a low budget movie. There's a lot of, I don't know what you would call extras in this movie. Because
Yes.
And they do, and that's good. I mean, that's impressive. Actually, at the very end of the film, when you watch the cast list, it's huge. But that also kind of tells you it's a low-budget movie because Hollywood sort of insists on everybody being beautiful to a certain extent. And even the ugly people are beautiful in their own way. Like, and here, everybody just looks like they're my neighbor pulled off the street. And
sure,
at first, it's fine. It's like, oh, cool. Like, this looks like normal. it also is a tell. It's like, okay, this feels more low budget because of it, but I'm getting over that as we go on. It's refreshing. I mean, this is something we always say. We want real life reflected in movies. We don't want this fake glamour stuff reflected in movies, but I don't think we really, we really mean that. I think we like to go to movies and see gorgeous people and everything perfect and pristine more than we like to admit. And then on top of that, though, and like you said, this probably read really, really funny on paper, but I think it requires extreme skill to pull off convincingly. And again, these comedies aren't convincing. Even the quippiest, The Office or whatever, it's not convincing. We all know that nobody really talks like that or acts like that. I mean, it's satire, it's parody, it's kind of blown up, it's like it's like to the extreme. Yeah. But those people make it funny. Their acting level is to a degree, and the directing is to a degree, and the timing, everything with comedy is so difficult to do. It's so difficult to do comedy really, really well. It relies so much on timing, and that goes for the actors, it goes for the editing, it goes for the direction and like how you frame a shot and when you cut away to somebody else's reaction. There's so much of that has to be perfect for you to be rolling on the floor, and very little of this was.
Yeah, and I think that this one missed the mark in that they weren't entirely sure what they were doing because it's so self-referential. There is a character who only speaks in one-liners.
Right.
And he calls that out later. He's like, I get it. I'm the character who only speaks in one-liners, but I really have a heart too. And I just feel like it didn't go far enough. I would have preferred it if they would have pushed this into scary movie territory where it's just ridiculous.
Right.
And I didn't feel like it went far enough for that. Like,
you think it held back?
It kind of tried to ground itself in reality, and that didn't work. Like, if you're going to be feeding me this stupid, jokey dialogue, you've really just got to give it all. I think that the only person who understood the assignment was Felissa Rose. I thought she was hilarious, and I thought she got the assignment. I'm the big tittied bimbo girl, and I'm gonna play it stupid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it over the top. I mean, think of her lines. The lines that she says are no different than the lines that anybody else says, but it's like she recognizes how stupid they are, and she plays them stupid.
Yeah.
And she's funny. She's hilarious.
Yeah, she is. I mean, by herself, she's funny.
But she seems out of place.
Yeah.
I don't think she seems out of place because she was wrong.
No,
I think she's the only one who understood the assignment.
Exactly.
They should have all been doing that.
No, I agree with you. The boss character, so she's the secretary to Mr. Dugan, who's the boss of this company. He seems to be the closest to it, but he's copying the whole well, who was the guy, the original Office? Who's the sleazier feel? By the way, did you ever watch The Office? I didn't really watch much of it.
No, the American one?
Both, either or.
I watched all of the American one. I've never seen the original, but I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name. Gervais. Ricky Gervais.
He seems like he's going between like Ricky Gervais, and he's got a bit of a Phil Hartman look to him. I don't know. He's trying very, very hard to be this kind of dickish boss who doesn't care how dickish he is, and he's full of sarcasm and one-liners and treats everybody poorly to the extent that this is no real office anywhere because he'd be in so much trouble and nobody would want to work for him. People be quitting left and right. So that's kind of like the joke is he's that kind of boss, right? And he calls these two main characters in. Brian and what was the other guy's name? Moses.
I didn't figure out his name until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I just kept referring to him as Blonde. So if I refer to anybody as the Blonde, I'm talking about Moses. He's the guy that thinks he's real funny and he's cracking jokes all the time. And he is funny. He's actually a very refreshing part of the movie. I don't know. I just felt like, there's something about it that's unbalanced. Like,
yeah,
it just kind of doesn't work. And there's also a bazillion characters.
Yeah.
And tons of leading scenes that suggest something to you, but nothing ever pays off. By the end of the movie, you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Who is the killer? What is his motive?
You're right.
There are red herrings left and right.
Yeah.
But none of them pay off because they just set it up for a sequel at the end. That frustrated me.
Yeah, the ending was so abrupt. Oh, God, I was so... But I was also glad it was over.
I know. Oh, my God. I think probably about an hour into it, I was like, Jesus Christ, how much more of this is there?
We were laughing about it, too, because I kept checking the time, and it's like, oh, God, it's only been like 8 minutes. Oh, God, it's only been 10 minutes. And that happened again about an hour in, as it was apparently for you. Because ultimately, the movie is really just a bunch of kill scenes. They have all these characters and all these people to come in, and really, it's just the killer pops up and kills this person. The killer pops up and kills this person. There's some weird sideline about a cop and his partner and then the FBI, and I didn't know what that was about. I still don't know what all that was about.
I don't know. I still don't either. And I don't even know how to talk about it because that's what it is. It just kind of seems like a series of vignettes that are loosely connected.
Right.
And you find out eventually that they are connected, but it's dumb. We meet those three main people. There's Leslie the girl, Moses the blonde, and Brian, who is just kind of a schleppy guy, and they're the three best friends or whatever. And then Mr. Dugan is their boss. The actor who played Mr. Dugan, the only thing that I knew him from was he played Deputy Doofy in the Scary Movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was funny in that. And then Felissa Rose is his assistant. She's really kind of all I want to talk about. Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp, classic movie, and she is one of those actresses now who you see pop up everywhere. I like her. I think she's funny. I think she knows what she's doing in her career. She's got great big boobs and is showing them off in this movie, and she's like the boss's assistant, and she's ditzy and slutty and hilarious, and I love her. Felissa Rose, come to our podcast.
Yeah.
She's not listening to this, but when you contact her manager, you can send this clip and
we like you. We'll treat you well.
Yeah, we love you. I think she's fantastic, and she is really doing it. She is going all out. She is going all out to be silly and funny and slutty and ditzy and hilarious. And the two main guys are in a scene with the boss, and he's telling them that people are going to get laid off, but it's not them. And there's some stupid gag about jizzing.
Oh, God.
And, God, it's so dumb. And I can't imagine watching that with your 13, 15-year-old nephew.
He laughed. I was like, I didn't even want to make eye contact with my dad. I thought it was so cringy.
Oh, God.
That joke.
Moses, this dumb blonde guy, is simulating coming with a lotion bottle all over the desk. And then Felissa Rose, her name is Stephanie in the movie, but she's like, I'll clean it up. No, I like cleaning up. I like, it's just so stupid.
God.
It's so dumb, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, is it hilarious? I don't know.
I only found it funny because it was her, I think.
Oh, her, yeah.
Because I know who she is, and I know that she's cameoing in these cheap movies, and she's having a good time. She really seemed like she was having a really good time.
Yeah. She
probably came in and made a couple of $100, if anything. They're probably like us. They probably called her and hey, Felissa Rose, we can't give you any money, but this will go on Screambox if you want to be in a movie. And she was probably sure. And she had a great time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm speculating a lot there, Felissa Rose. I'm sorry.
Now you're dissing her. It's
no, I'm not dissing her.
Works for nothing. She just thrilled to be in this silly movie.
I'm not dissing her. I'm saying she is in it to have fun and have a good time.
Yeah,
and
I know
that's
what
why.
you mean.
Yeah,
But he's not. I mean, This is another
it's dumb. Like, it's all dumb.
These kinds of jokes, to do silly, stupid comedy like this actually is more difficult than you would think.
Oh my gosh.
Come on.
I hate it. I hate this kind of stupid comedy. It's hard. It's really hard to do something that people are going to laugh at.
It's like Farrelly Brothers level stuff, and the Farrelly Brothers knew what they were doing. And this is just like, it just goes on a little too long. It's a little too cringe. I don't know what it is. I couldn't really pinpoint it, but I just like, is this really what we're in for? Is this movie is trying hard to be funny, and we're going to be cringing a little bit at how hard it's trying and how much it's kind of not really succeeding. I applaud the effort. I was just like, all right. And I thought most of the comedy in here was quite cringe. And like you said, if they're going for parody or something like that, I mean, that you could give them a lot of leeway, I suppose, but still, like, it's supposed to be a horror comedy. It needs to be funny. And so much of this just didn't land with me. I could see what they were doing. It was probably really funny on paper. It's really funny in concept, but it just didn't land. And this scene just set up pretty much a whole bunch of cringy, not funny moments for me that just kind of made me tired of the movie. I didn't hate it.
I know. Like I said, it's so written, and I feel like it's pretty obvious at this point that we're not going to really get into the plot that much because it doesn't really matter all that much. We can talk about the frustrating things, but let me just tell you some of the quotes that I took the time to type out. Moses says to a waitress, I think at some point, "I'm a composer. My best composition is putting a D major in a B giner." And then right after that, he says, "I'm going to puke out of my butt." He also says, "F me in the butt," about 100 times throughout the movie.
Yeah.
More dialogue. After a couple of people have a long conversation about nothing, somebody says, "Although this is a riveting conversation, I hear something really loud in the back, so I gotta go." Somebody says at one point, "Pardon my banality." What? I think okay, I've got two more and then I'll let it go for a minute. Somebody is like trauma dumping on somebody else. I'm going to use this line. Somebody says, "Cancel my subscription to your issues."
Yes. I also wrote that down, and I think it was the most standout line for me in the whole show.
Okay, all right. And then my last one, a skeevy guy walks up to a skeevy girl and says, "Are you a beaver? 'Cause damn." And she says back, "Are you a dam? 'Cause I'm soaking wet."
Oh, man.
The writer, whoever wrote this, was trying really hard. And the actors read the lines and were like, "All right, I'll say it."
Yeah, it won't always land, but I'll
say it.
PJ Starks was the writer, wrote a few things before this, a bunch of things before this, but it's all kind of horror stuff. Little segments and what must be anthology movies, it seems like, from, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Not a lot, just a bunch of stuff over time, and executive produced a bunch of these low-budget movies. I'm sure he's in a circle of people who are doing this and making a lot of low-budget movies that I just have never seen. And apparently he was asked to help David Breckman, who was from Monk and SNL, film his directorial debut, Murder in Kentucky, during some Writers Festival in 2009. So he's good enough to get a movie out there, and he was a co-director on this with a guy named Eric Hutchison. Again, just a bunch of low-budget movies behind them. Nothing wrong with that. It's fine. But yeah, it kind of shows. And what you said earlier about this being a dialogue-heavy movie, that's what makes the movie so frustrating from the beginning, is that there is so much setup. Aside from all the kill scenes in the very beginning, when we're in this office with these people, they're trying to set up a little bit of drama, I think. I think that Leslie has just broken up with a guy, but she's kind of into Brian, And Brian has this girl who's maybe his fiance or maybe just his girlfriend who he's sort of trying to break up with. I'm not even clear on all this because it wasn't very clear.
And you don't care. Who
We
cares?
don't care
Nobody cares.
because all of this is just delivered through conversations that people are having with other people in an office. We don't really have scenes between the two of them that are really interesting. We don't really have action happening between them, funny bits, funny moments, or whatever. It's just all talk. And it's talk about and around it instead of diving us right into their relationship and showing us more of their character. They just seem very flat because of it. They seem like just flat people who they are what they look like. And they just talk.
they try to establish dynamics between these three people, but over the course of the whole movie, I don't know if I hadn't read the synopsis. I think the synopsis says three friends try to maneuver their way through. I don't even know that I would have thought necessarily that it was about those three people.
Or that they were friends.
Yeah, right. They just happen to work together, and they're interconnected in some way. Yeah, what's his name? Brian, the beard guy, has a girlfriend, I guess, who's a doctor or something, but it seems like their relationship isn't great. And then there's the girl, and she's just gotten out of a relationship with the douchey guy that they also work with, who you find out later in the movie was abusive to her. They just casually throw that
I
in.
know. That was weird.
And yeah, she says something and when you hit me, was that normal? What? Are we really getting into that in this movie? It's weird.
At this point, 10 minutes before the end?
Yeah. And then there's a third friend who's the comic relief. And again, it's so self-referential. He keeps calling it out throughout the movie. Yeah, I know I'm that character who just drops funny lines and blah, blah, blah. It's
Yeah.
It's a little bit meta, and it kind of knows what it's doing, but it's not clever.
Yeah,
I see what you're doing too. You calling it out isn't really that funny when it's so obvious.
Yeah.
So it's kind of centered around them, but then also there's this other slasher thing going on that you don't have any idea what's going on. The guy in the plague mask just kills a bunch of people, and then you find out that he kills Leslie, that's the girl, one of the three main people, kills her mom and her sister. The mom seems to know something weird is going on, but we never find out what she knows. And she references her brother Mike, and the daughter Leslie's sister is we should call Uncle Mike, and she's no, I can't call him. And then we meet him, and he's a cop who we've already seen before, who's just some old cop.
Yeah.
And then he does something shady with a warehouse full of people.
What was that?
Who get killed by table saws?
That the FBI is tailing him on for some reason? There's some stakeout.
We see him on the phone by himself, and no, I feel he's recording himself, he's taping himself, and he's I just have to, tell you all, I was involved in something, but I didn't expect it to go this far, and I just have to do this one more time. And I thought, well, they're making him a red herring for the killer. But no, he goes up to some warehouse, and then his female partner is I'm going to come join you. And she does. And they go in there, and they're looking around, and she's do you not see these bodies on these tables? And it's a whole room full of corpses, apparently. And then I didn't even remember what happened, but somehow a switch gets flipped.
Well, she goes, they're breathing. Notice that they're not bodies, they're breathing. And then one of them flips the sheet over one of them. And I guess that triggers something, because
that triggers table saws on all 48 of these tables.
That is a lot of people. That's
it's a lot of table saws.
Right?
It's expensive.
It's an elaborate saw trap of some sort, I suppose. But who are these people?
Right.
Why were they killed?
What's happening?
What is the point of this? We never
knows?
know. Do we?
Okay, but then we find out that the cop is Leslie's uncle, and he's watching out for her at a dance because he has a bad feeling. But then he sees the bird guy, and he follows him, and then he follows the bird guy, and he confronts him in the alley. He's like, that wasn't our deal. I was just supposed to drop off some evidence, and then me and my family would be out of this. And then his partner shows up, and he's like, and look, you brought my partner into it. And then his partner shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
And the partner goes up to the bird guy and is like, why didn't you tell me you were working with him? That would make it a lot easier. And then a couple of FBI agents show up, and the bird guy slits that lady's throat, the one who was just talking to him. We never find out anything about how any of this is connected.
Right? Are they trying to go for like a multi-sequel sort of intricate Saw type situation?
I can only imagine. But it's lazy. Like,
yeah.
Let's just establish that they were in some way connected and kill them off so that we can do something later. Not in this movie.
No. Well, they would have a lot of explaining to do because this Birdman just kills everybody. They don't seem particularly connected in any way. Nobody seems to be particularly in his way so that they're cannon fodder or whatever. I mean, the whole film is just, here are these people we saw briefly. Now they're going to die. Most of it takes place at this party.
This is my favorite part. My favorite part is when he shows up at the party. And, like, even when he just first walks in the door, some drunk guy stumbles out and's like, hey, nice costume, and he slits his throat. Then he just goes in the party and just starts killing everybody who he comes across.
Yeah.
And people are just standing around.
Yeah, just watching.
And just waiting. Like, just standing against a wall. Okay, I'll stand here while you kill that person. Take your time.
Then take your turn on me.
I'll be here when you get here.
I'll be here when you're ready to swing that axe my direction. Yeah, and
it is very gory. And it gets creative with the kills. He typically doesn't kill anybody in exactly the same way.
Each one's very different.
He may use the same weapon or something. One of my favorite kills was when he walks outside and there are 3 people like sitting outside and somebody makes fun of him. And he just, with one swipe of a scalpel, slits all 3 of their throats.
Yes. This is when I turned to my dad and I was like, this party, everyone's very well spread out and this office has 1 million rooms because nobody seems to stumble across any of these bodies. Just the party is happening. My dad was like, do you remember when it establishes the party and we see that they have hired some musician to come and perform some kind of, I don't know, hardcore band DJ type thing, and my dad turns to me and goes, this is the entertainment they hired for this office party? And then I would say about 20 minutes later my dad turns to me and goes, whatever happened to the band?
Right.
I'm like,
the party looks lit at first, and then they're just hanging out in the office later.
They are. And nobody, again, there's no panic or anything like that because apparently people die, their bodies are left there, and nobody ever stumbles into that particular room again for the rest of the movie because that's how it is. It's just a person dies, okay, a person dies, okay, a person dies, okay. There's no consequence, there's no build, there's no payoff. There just happens for our sake so we can see a whole bunch of different kills. My favorite kill was Felissa Rose's kill in the bathroom stall.
Oh my God, that was fantastic.
She's back in and she's like, no, no, no. And he pulls out a syringe and he pokes her not once, but twice in the stomach with this syringe. He's like, oh no, no, what are you doing to me? Just, again, like not really fighting back, not doing anything. Then he pulls out a scalpel and cuts her in the stomach. She's like, oh no. And he reaches into her belly and starts pulling out her intestines. And she's like, oh, I can't even feel that.
I can't even feel that.
He pulls her intestines out in front of her and she's just standing there. Oh my God, no, what are you doing? And then he throws the intestines into the toilet and flushes it. And as only happens in movies, toilets have incredible suction power.
Yep.
And that just pulls all of the rest of the intestines out of her while she stands there going, oh, I can't even feel it. Oh my God, what's going on?
Yeah, seriously, anybody who's listening, if you have any connection to Felissa Rose at all,
get her on here.
Hook us up. I would die. I would die to talk to her. Die.
We could totally do it. Give us some credit, man. I think we can make this happen. I don't think and so this is a scene where you're just like, okay, so is this movie trying to be funny? is this like a parody? A lot of the other kills are just basically creative ways of killing people, the axe or this or that or the other. And then this like ridiculous thing happened that on its face is super ridiculous that you have to think, well, they meant it to be ridiculous, right?
Yeah, right? It didn't go far enough. They should have pushed it into more stupid because the doctor, that's what they call him, he goes around and he kills everybody. Like, it's just, again, like I said at the beginning, I couldn't begin to tell you what the kill count is in this because it's huge. He kills literally everybody at the party. And then the quippy guy says, this party's officially dead. Again, not knowing that all these people have been slaughtered, but it's just so dumb. And then he has a heart-to-heart with, it turns out Moses, the blonde guy, has a crush on Leslie, who has a crush on Brian, or whatever his name is. And he has like a heart-to-heart with her, and he's like, I know I'm the comic relief. I'm just one throwaway joke after another. And he says several things like that throughout. So they are aware of what they're doing. Because that's exactly it. That is exactly who he is.
Yeah.
And it's all like 13-year-old guy jokes that I can smile at. Like, it's funny, but like it's not smart or creative or gonna make me laugh.
Or delivered well enough, I'm sorry. It's just
it's just the expected, like, I see what you're doing there. Like, it's funny, whatever. But then I feel like the three of them are now kind of running around, and the doctor confronts them in several places and kills people in front of them. He kills a couple of people with a corkscrew right in front of them, and
he also has a way of, sometimes he chloroforms people. Sometimes he just puts a cloth over their mouth and they pass out, and then they wake up and they're in some scenario, which again, I thought, we're setting up, like, this is going to be important. Like, why did he not just slash this person? But then he chloroforms someone so that they can wake up tied to a chair so that he can stand in front of them and, for example, just at point blank range, shoot a couple crossbows into him. What was the point of that? Just, again, like, have another way of killing someone that
I guess
so frustrating,
right? He's just doing it for us, like, so that we have something to look at. I mean, it's silly. I did want to mention, and I'll look it up real quick if I can, the only person, there's a hot girl in the movie. There's one hot girl in the office, and she is played by Hannah Fierman. And when I was looking at the IMDb, I was like, I know those eyes. I've seen this girl before. I think it was the very first VHS. Have you seen any of those Shudder VHS anthologies?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them. I think we did one of them on our show here, too.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
They vary in quality. I have liked them less the further that they've gone on, but they vary in quality. This girl, the hot office girl, is played by Hannah Fierman, who was in the segment where these three drunk douchebags pick up a seemingly naive girl, and she turns out to be like a siren or some kind of demon, and she flies away with one of them at the end. I think they may have even made that into a feature film, and I have no idea if this actress, Hannah Fierman, was in it, but I recognized her right away. She eventually gets killed, and everybody's killed except for the final three, and it's annoying.
There's a horribly staged confrontation at the very end. They
have like a comedic like slap fight.
Yeah,
like this guy's killed like 30 people, and then all of a sudden they have like this scary movie slap fight.
She knocks him out with a cardboard box. I mean,
and I was so angry because the two guys who are apparently both in love with her are like, get out, get out. And she stands there for 5 minutes like, no, I won't leave you. And they're like, seriously, get the out. No.
Or do something while each of them have his leg. They've clearly pinned this guy down. He's not moving for 5 minutes. Why didn't she just pick something up and smack the guy? She just, again, like you said, other people just stand around. And so these scenes are very unconvincing. And that really takes you out of it, too. I guess it would be weird for us to finish this off without talking about the dildo kill.
Well, Go ahead. I don't want to.
Why not? There's just a dildo in one of the offices, which is so stupid, right? And so one guy, when they're searching for something to find, he finds a dildo in someone's inbox. Like, oh, how did this get there? Oh, well, that's really gross, guys. And then, of course, the killer shows up. He kills one of them. He ends up with the dildo. He throws it across the room, and this rubber thing goes right into his eye. Kills this guy, which causes him to fall forward against the glass, and the suction cup part of the back of the dildo, because it's got one, sticks to the glass. So the guy's held up for a minute, and then he kind of slides off of it, but his glasses remain on the dildo. Oh my God, it was...
The thing that I appreciated about that scene was that the guy commented on how comically large it was. Like, anytime you see dildos in movies, they're like 12 to 14-inch cocks that are like 3 inches around. Nobody's using that for fun. That's just for
That's
porn.
just a gag.
Yeah. Nobody. And I get it. If you're a fan of porn, you want to see big dicks in porn or whatever, but nobody really wants that.
No. It's too much.
What are you gonna do with that?
Slap it against the face.
No, thank you.
Plus, it's rubber. I mean, it's pretty floppy at that point. Something that big. Anyway.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so there's the dildo kill.
Yeah, so eventually, while her friends are getting brutally murdered right in front of her because she's just standing there, like, in theory, if she had just cut the chain and run away, maybe the murderer would have run away without stabbing the guy that she was interested in 50 times with a scalpel in the back.
Right.
Maybe. But that's not. But she eventually decides to run, and she runs into a cop and immediately faints.
Yeah, God.
And then there's cops and ambulances and...
A bunch of bullshit. She's taken to the hospital.
A bunch of bullshit, right.
Oh, that cut on her arm. My dad was like, that cut on her arm has really put her under. My dad's a nurse. She's in the emergency room, hooked up to IVs and shit, and she's just got a cut on her arm. But they got to get her by herself. Because we knew this was going to happen. If they take us into the hospital.
And we've seen this a bazillion times.
Yeah.
We know the doctor, capital D, is still out there. And it turns out, we never see his face, but he is an actual doctor at the hospital named Dr. Fears, New Fear's Eve. And he gets called over there, but she figures it out because she sees his shoes or something, and she escapes out a window, and he follows the blood trail, and she's outside, and she looks back, and she sees his silhouette in the window, and she says, "Come and get me, motherfucker." The end. F*** you.
Oh, I was so mad.
I know! Like, I watched this movie for a long hour and a half. It felt long. I swear to God, an hour into it, I was like, Jesus Christ, is this over yet? Like, come on.
I know. And then they do this.
And I don't care to see. A sequel will surely not be made. And if it is, I don't have any interest. I don't care.
Yeah. I'm not interested in unwrapping the mystery of this guy who just goes around and kills every single person he's in contact with. It doesn't feel like there's any intrigue.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care how their family was involved in it. I don't care why Leslie's mother was nervous about something happening. I don't care why her uncle, the cop, was somehow invested in it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. And it made me mad that they didn't wrap it up.
But it made me happy they wrapped it up. I was very conflicted here.
Thank God.
I was so mad that it was over, but I was also like, oh, I did let a breath out. I was like, okay, cool. We can go to sleep now.
Yeah. And to say all that, honestly, it wasn't awful. Like, I have seen way worse. I think that my biggest problem with this movie was the plotting, because it just, even though there were like 50 kills, like it plodded along, and my biggest complaint about it was the writing. Like, I didn't believe a word of the dialogue. Nobody would talk like this. Nobody.
Yeah.
It was so quippy, but then again, I do feel like they were going for some kind, I think, of parody of 90s horror.
Yeah, I guess.
And I think that 90s horror was kind of like that. Like,
sure.
off of Scream and off of Dawson's Creek, where it was very dialogue driven, I feel like they were trying to spoof that, and I just found it nauseating.
Yeah, it's just a little insufferable. Again,
Yeah.
like I said at the beginning, and you agreed, like comedy is hard. Comedy is hard. And if you're going to spoof something, it's harder than you think. And, you've got to either, in this case, probably just should have laid into it so that it was obvious and the goofiness became consistent. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It just needed to be more consistent in some way instead of just sort of consistently insufferable.
Yeah.
And if you're going to try to put some intrigue in here, that's good and that's fine, but make it interesting. We don't want to hear everything through people talking. We want to see something. We want to see some action that has consequence. We want to see a person, who's struggling with something that we can get behind.
We skipped over the 2 or 3 flashbacks where somebody said, here's exactly what happened to me. And then you get to watch it for the next 5 minutes. And it's not interesting at all. Like, somebody says, oh yeah, that guy chased me too. And then it cuts back for 5 minutes where you just get to see that. Like, you could have just told me. I didn't need to see it. Like, I believed you when you said it.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And I also, it was far too much setup that wasn't interesting. That was all just dialogue that was trying to be funny, but didn't really land. And that didn't really set a good tone for the rest of the movie, honestly. And so I think that, it kind of failed there too. I also really, really, really didn't care for the fake documentary style thing they were going for that was kind of Office-like, where the camera is very jittery.
Yeah.
Like there's somebody hand-holding it at the beginning. It just didn't seem to fit with the tone of the comedy section of the movie that they were going for. Like I said, it was clear they were trying to cop The Office in a way. But then it just didn't work for the rest of the film. It was just inconsistent. I guess it was just very inconsistent. And that I found irritating. I don't know if I'm uniquely irritated by shooting styles, but like anytime there's a handheld type shooting style in a movie anymore, my mind immediately goes, all right, motherfucker, you better give me a very good reason why you're shooting it this way. Because if not, I'm just going to be annoyed at this. It feels lazy, or it feels like, I hate that. And I really hated it at the beginning. So the movie didn't start out, the first 20 minutes didn't lay great groundwork for me personally. It was already annoying in a couple ways. And then to have like fake intrigue that doesn't go anywhere, characters I don't care about, just a whole bunch of kill scenes, nothing really seems to be existing in reality where people would find bodies, where people would be upset about certain things, where people wouldn't stop in the midst of a chase scene and have quippy dialogue back and forth for 10 minutes and cutesiness between them. It was, I wanted to say like I was mad at it. I kind of knew what I was getting into.
No, it was fine.
I
was genuinely amused by Felissa Rose. So if you are a Felissa Rose fan, you might find this amusing. But honestly, if you could just find her scenes on YouTube or something, just watch that. I just feel like she's really leaning into what people expect of her or what she can get or whatever, and she's just going for it. And I think that's fantastic. I find her very beautiful. She's got huge boobs, and that's not usually something that like I'm super into, but they work for her. And I just think that she has a great sense of humor about who she is and her career, and I just respect that. I respect when somebody's like, this is what people want me for and what I can do, and I'm just gonna lean into it. And I really like that. So she was a highlight for me of the movie. Beyond that, it's okay. We've certainly seen worse. It's clearly low budget, but for a low budget movie, I thought that it was competently shot. It doesn't look super cheap. I mean,
Not
It
super
shows its
cheap.
budget, but it doesn't look super cheap, and it doesn't look super amateurish. I thought,
True.
even the effects, and there are like 750,000 kills in this movie, and each one is unique.
Yeah.
It's not like it's the same thing over and over again. Each one is unique. So the people who worked on the special effects on this, applause.
Good job.
To you.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. I thought it looked great, and that was fun. Overall, didn't care for it. And I have a feeling that this is the type of offering that you're typically going to find on Screambox.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I feel like if I'm looking for this type of thing, I can find it for free on Tubi most of the time.
Yeah.
But if I need to pay $7 or $8
If you want to
every
support
once in a while,
Bloody Disgusting.
every once in a while to watch a movie on Screambox, I'm willing to do that. That's fair. I'll pay that much to rent or watch a movie that I want to watch elsewhere. So to each their own. It's not awful. We've certainly seen worse, and it happens on New Year's Eve, and that's what we were looking for. And Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. What a way to kick it off. Oh my gosh. Well, 2026 is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting for all of us. And I walk into this new year with, I don't know, the same level of trepidation combined with positivity that I try to walk into every new year. Really interested to see how it turns out. Really hoping for the best for you, for all of you listeners out there, for myself, obviously, my family. And we're looking forward to a nice new batch of horror movies coming to us in 2026. There's an interesting lineup of stuff to look forward to. So happy 2026, everybody. Yeah.
Happy 2026. And things, you know, I tend to be kind of gloomy about things sometimes, but I'm forever grateful for all of you who check in with us every once in a while and hang out with us for an hour or whatever, and our patrons who are not only generous but so kind, and we've made great friends, and I'm grateful for you all and knowing wonderful, lovely people like you who I can talk to and laugh with and have a good time with. It reminds me that things may sometimes look bleak, but there are good people in the world, and there are good times to be had, and that keeps me going. So thank you, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with a friend. That's the best New Year's or Christmas gift you can give to us. Write us a positive review on any place that you can find that reviews podcasts. We love to read those. You can also contact us by visiting our website, chainsawhorror.com. Click on the Talk to Us button there, and you can send us a voice message if you'd like. We will play it on air. You can also just find us on social media. Just search Two Guys in a Chainsaw Podcast. We've got Instagram, Facebook, all the lovelies out there for you to comment on, and a newsletter. If you subscribe to our newsletter and you respond to our newsletter, you can get to us directly, and that is all at chainsawhorror.com. All right, happy 2026. Until next time, I'm Todd.
And I'm Craig.
With Two Guys and a Chainsaw.